Mr. Dilawar Hussain, FCMA, Advisor to SAFA. I request all the guests to be on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we have representation from SAFA countries like ICA India, ICAI Coast, ICA Pakistan, ICMA Pakistan, ICA Sri Lanka, ICMA Sri Lanka, ICA Nepal, and ICMAB, both in person and online. I request the chair of the event to kindly accompany the chief guest, special guests, and other distinguished guests to the dais and take their seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to request Ms. Parveen Mahmood, FCA, past President ICAB and Chairman Organizing Committee, SAFA International Conference 2022, to kindly deliver her address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. CQK Mushtaq, Chairman, Prime Bank Investment Limited and former Chairman, Financial Reporting Council, FRC. Guest of Honor, Mr. H.M. Hananaik Bandara, President, South Asian Federation of Accountants, SAFA. C.A. Nihar Niranjan Jambu Saria, Vice President, SAFA. Mr. A.K.M. Dilwar Hussain, FCMA, SAFA Advisor and past President, SAFA. Mr. Mohammad Shahadat Hussain, FCA President, ICAB, President of the Professional Bodies in SAFA. Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir, FCA, past President and Council Member, ICAB. ICAB past Presidents, Vice Presidents, Council Members, and members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh, SAFA, GRI, and international delegates to the conference, government high officials, trade bodies, and corporate leaders, distinguished guests, representatives from the media, and ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum, a very good evening to you all. It is our privilege and honor, ICB, to host the SAFA International Conference 2022 with the theme Regional Connectivity for Sustainable Growth. In the inaugural session, we had keynote paper on the theme from Dr. Atiur Rahman, eminent economist and former governor of Bangladesh Bank. In the afternoon, we had fruitful technical sessions, and we have two technical sessions, and we had discussions. I'm sorry, we are behind our time, so we'll try to finish as early as possible. Dear professionals and practitioners, regulators, your participation, insights, and experience shared in those sessions have pointed out many issues for sustainable development through environmental, social, and governance perspective, which have enriched our participants, especially inspired young leaders. Mr. Mohammad Humayun Kabir, FCA, past President and Council Member, will share the conference summary letter. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in this valedictory session, we are going to witness also a MU signing between SAFA and Global Reporting Initiative. They will collaborate to create resource and competency hub on sustainable development, ESG reporting, and related topics. GRI to create a joint program with SAFA on creating awareness on sustainability reporting related topics through workshops for the practicing accountant, conferences, and consultations on sustainability reporting framework. We hope under this collaboration, SAFA member bodies will work together on ESG for sustainable reporting and development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this SAFA International Conference would not have been as successful without the presence and input of SAFA delegates and resource persons from home and abroad. I warmly thank them for traveling to Bangladesh and contributing to the conference. I hope you are enjoyed your time in our beautiful country. During various periods of 50 years of its existence, ICB has received ongoing support from the Ministry of Commerce, Government of Bangladesh, and other stakeholders. Today, I take this opportunity to thank them all to have strengthened us to become an effective partner in progress, an agent of change in transforming Bangladesh to a middle-income country. We are honored tonight by your presence. I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to all our corporate sponsors and patrons to make it happen, the SAFA International Conference 22 possible. I thank all our wonderful speakers and panelists and session chairs without whom this conference would not have been possible. I also thank and express my appreciation for all our guests. Thanks to members of the print and electronic media for making this event a grand success. I am also thankful to the Council ICAB, Mr. President Mahmoud Shahadat Hussain FCA for your wholehearted support during the conference. Last but not the least, I would like to acknowledge the hard work and team effort of ICB officials and staffs under leadership of Mr. Shubhashish Bose, CEO ICAB and former Senior Secretary, Ministry of Commerce. I would like to conclude our efforts must be mutually supportive rather than competitive. We remain determined to continue more dialogues with the countries in this region under SAARC in SAFA banner to go further. Wish all foreign delegates and participants safe journey back home with cherished memories. Hope our SAFA bonding fraternity will go from strength to strength. I am confident that this conference will make an important contribution to improving our understanding on regional cooperation and connectivity. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pervin Mahmood, FCA. Ladies and gentlemen, now conference summary, and I'd request Mr. Mohammad Humayun Kobir, FCA, past president and council member, ICAB, to kindly present conference summary.
Good evening. Honorable SAFA President in the dais, ICB President Mr. Shahadat Hussain, SAFA Advisor, and the today's military session chief guest, Mr. CQK Mushtaq Ahmed, former chairman FRC Bangladesh, and Mrs. Parveen Mahmood, the chairman organizing committee of this SAFA seminar conference. Ladies and gentlemen, my responsibility is summarization or briefing about the 2 day sessions. All of you are exhausted because you are listening to all this thing, particularly because you are delayed by more than an hour, and all of us are hungry. Therefore, I will not repeat, because first of all thing, the materials are already printed. Those have registered. You have got those you have got the printed material in your hand, and those have not got it. Still, those are digitally available with the institute. I will request our institute management committee, particularly the chief operating officer, Mr. Mahmood. If anybody asks for it, you can get it from him. Therefore, I will not go to repeat in the name of summarization or the briefing of you. I will rather just summarize in the way that what we are taking in our pocket to our home. Normally, Professor Watal has excellently said, you see, what is the gap to deliver the true value, actually ultimately the non-financial data compilation, measuring and reporting thereon. Unless the integration is made and backed by legislative or the supportive of the regulation, then alone the accountancy profession will not be in a position to deliver those things. That is the foremost. Second thing is from the profession itself. Things are still evolving, because you see, accountancy profession, if you take it from the British legacy, is almost now 150 years plus. It is the youngest profession compared to the physician or the legal profession, if we say so. Modern civilization, it is the accountancy profession now. It is the basically the recording, and not only for recording, the measuring, and ultimately the certification process, giving an assurance independently, providing to the ultimately all the stakeholders. To assure that, we need a common standard. The gap in this regard is that it is true that what GRI has made, it has an United Nations backing almost now 25 years from 1997, because United Nations Environmental Program, also called UNEP, when they have promoted this GRI mechanism through this GRI, the ESG mechanism. But you still think that it is not that much well-known, disseminated to the society as a whole. Just Anaruddin Chaudhary said, it is now they have started in the public sector, but particularly the resources is mostly used by the government undertaking. Natural resources, talking about the water, like in Bangladesh, Washa, in every urbanized society. And the power production, it is so far, it is now in the public sector, private sector opening, but until that, the air pollution is coming there for carbon emission. And therefore, if I go back, if you say that like advanced world was the responsibility for the so-called, now everybody is saying this climate, this deforestation, everything, carbon emission. So the case of the public sector has the more polluter in this regard. Obviously, this reckoning they have yet to start there. So giving there this gap, and second aspect is that you see, besides GRI, it is not a still global standard. Like until the 2030 agenda, what popularly know that the Sustainable Development Goal, or SDG goal, which has to be all the United Nations in general, if they agreed, they will have a goal to achieve by 2030. And all nations are working there from, but because of this COVID, there is a gap distance. But achieving those goals need every country, particularly the developing nation, they need resources. In Bangladesh, in our General Accounting Division, they estimated of Ministry of Planning as early as 2015, Bangladesh will need at least $1 trillion to have a comfortable zone to achieving of 2030 agenda. That is the 17 goals as agreed by the United Nations. Obviously, this GRI, this 2030 agenda, they have commonality, but still when you go for measuring framework, if you need a reporting framework, you need a common agenda, common harmonization standard. Lately, the IFRC, many of you know, they have issued the draft with the sustainable standard for reporting purpose, the ISSB. And I don't know, all of you are talking, we are organizing this this conference to make the dissemination of knowledge, not only to our members, but also to the society at large, involving the, you see the politicians, many of you are asking too many, we have to hard, because involving the politician means ultimately it is enabling an environment to so that it becomes implementable, easier for the professional accountancy board. Therefore, this process is still just, it is the beginning. Until it has come to a conclusion, getting a demonstrative, I will say that actual effect, it will be, it only time you will say. Therefore, but meanwhile, we the professional accountant need to get ready. First, getting ourselves ready in educating ourselves. And meanwhile, I will say that too many buzzwords for our young accountants, particularly older generation people like me. Meanwhile, you know, another body which has promoted integrated reporting. In Bangladesh and in the SAFA region, by and large, already integrated reporting, many of you know the 6 capital input, output, the measuring framework, that has much more popularized, much more reported scheme has evolved meanwhile, because it has possible, because again, the role of the professional accountancy body in respective country And the SAFA itself has, from 2013, you see, we have started recognizing this integrated reporting aspect, and in each year we are awarding them. I think time has come now for the SAFA, Mr. President of SAFA, and all the, I will say that I have Mr. Professor Watala. He's always, he said yesterday, I always debate on him because I have seen only resource person who has all the ideas still. By the way, those who know, Mr. Watala is one of the founding member, who was the founder signatory to the SAFA in 1984. Many of you, our Yunus sir, he is still close associate him, he is still alive, and we are very welcome you, sir, in Dhaka, and you as part of us. We encourage you in your presence. Therefore, I think from your initiative, if the SAFA board in Dhaka, and tomorrow my president is sharing that we will propose a Dhaka declaration. If you include like an integrated reporting, also the sustainability reporting. For many of my colleagues, there is a difference between integrated reporting and sustainability. There is an overlapping, certainly. That's why I'm saying we'll multiplicity overlapping to evaluate that in a common standard required to be. Until that is being developed practice, I think in real world that the challenges will be there. But meanwhile, to have the more dissemination effective in voluntary basis, then we need to introduce the like integrated reporting and recognition to disclosure requirement corporate governance. Similarly, the sustainable reporting needs to be also separately to be recognized. Second aspect from me to carry forward at your home, everybody is discussing. Many things is available on the internet. You are the best tutorial for yourself, but still many things may not be known internally. Just now I was sharing with today's one of our competitor, Mr. Maruf. Many of you know. Our institute, at least we will plan, I will agree with my president or the next president, whoever elect, that continue this process of discussion and through the CPD seminar, so that it may be discussed more elaborately. And if the same thing is taken up by the respective SAFA professional body, that will be great help. I know respective jurisdiction is working on that, but still there is a gap. Because among the professional accountant, if the knowledge gap remain there, then the actual implementation will be more challenging. Because government regulator, they will expect the services from us. Therefore, the professional accounting organization, it need to also act proactively. And this is absent, because sorry to note it, because the evolution need to be done for ourselves. Why? Again, referring to Maruf, and I also noticed that the July 31, 2022 was the last date for commenting on ISSB issued that standard on sustainable reporting. But I know no single comment significantly to my knowledge has been gone from neither from Bangladesh or of the professional institute from this region. Therefore, that's also, Mr. President SAFA, I request you to, whenever any draft statement is coming, we should discuss either through the required committee what is existing, expanding their TOR, or forming a new committee so that this is being done. And because unless, as we said proudly, when it is not a country specific, as a South Asian citizen, we believe proud of when the India is supposed to be the either fourth or third largest economy very soon. And this region is having almost 1/4 of the total population of the universe. Therefore, unless we contribute globally in this development process of a standard, our localized information remain absent, because any standard is coming from the developed world perspective may not be truly applicable. Many of you refer in the discussion that now whoever is certifying voluntary or you see publishing the report on sustainable reporting on through the ISA, that non-financial reporting framework. But that IFAC has already accelerated the sustainability issue there. You have not noted there. Therefore, my request is there, when you are reporting on this through the non-financial reporting structure, you should take note that whether that framework actually applicable for the sustainable reporting or not. I take this note because what is absent, but today's seminar, I will say that basic point, if I take it, everybody understands sustainability, but keyword, many are focusing on ESG, but one element, at least not clearly mentioned in the GRI aspect, but in sustainability reporting aspect, that is very focused on, that is the people aspect. The GRI say about the ESG, E for economic, S for social, G for governance. Whereas the sustainability, including this, the main core start with the people, and that is the sustainable development goal. People is the centering, the citizen are the centering. The value benefit must be go to the people, public at large. Unless that being shared, and the society, it is not the equality is in this another key element there. When the comparative advantage is the main focusing of the development goal. When this comparative advantage has to be shared with the regional aspect, that is the key word for the connectivity, that is sharing. Sharing the comparative advantage of respective jurisdiction with your fellow neighbor, your fellow neighboring nations. That is the key word. And the danger is there. Only two aspects I will say there. One, as I already said, that absence of uniform standard, uniform regulation, uniform legal basis, even uniform. You see like one point I was referring to, like when you are coming here, say, I don't know, in Bangladesh, we have a British standard of, we are following, like even when you are charging your mobile phone, you need a 2020 ampere volt. But if some nation has, you need not 2020, it needs 2025, it will, you cannot charge your phone there. Similarly, therefore, only regulatory framework can ensure that common base benchmark. Therefore, for connectivity, this thing is very common regulation, common tariff structure, non-tariff structure, everything. That is the key one. Second aspect is the uniform, as I said, uniform standard. Second aspect of the sharing of thoughts, knowledge, people-to-people contact. In the morning session in today's thematic paper, Dr. Atiyaro emphasized physical infrastructure, but absence of sharing of skill of the commoner people, the professional people, real connectivity will not be there. That aspect also we have to carry forward, so that as I said that our aim as a profession has to have a complete knowledge and thinking in critically, just what we are receiving from the developed world in the name of standard, not enough but for our whether that fit in our regional basis, in our jurisdictions, that we have to also look into. So that's my summarization for and I will again say that please read the material. It is available both in print as well as in subversion. All are available in your hand through Google, or I will say that if you request our institute, they will circulate those things. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, now MOU signing ceremony between SAFA and GRI. I request the signatories to be on stage. Mr. Henayake Bandara, FCA, FCMA, President SAFA. Another signatory is Mrs. Dani Marunovich, Chief of Finance, GRI. The witnesses are Professor Lakshman Watawala, Chairman, International Relations Committee, Dr. Aditi Haldar, Director, South Asia Global Reporting Initiative, GRI. Exchange of documents going on, already signed. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point of time, I'd request Mr. Hinayake Bandara, FCA, FCMA, the President of SAFA, to kindly address the audience.
Once again, good evening to all of you. Our chief guest this evening, Vice President SAFA, Advisor SAFA, President, Vice President and Council members of your institute, Chairperson Conference Committee, past presidents, delegates, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to speak a few words after a successful conclusion of SAFA International Conference. At the outset, let me thank the President, Council and Conference Organizing Committee of ICAB for hosting the SAFA International Conference along with other events and for the guidance and leadership provided in organizing this important conference. Let me also recognize keynote speakers, all session chairmen, speakers, and panelists of technical sessions for their participation and the valuable contribution made towards the successful conduct of the conference. I also would like to recognize Professor Lakshmanar Vatavela, Chairman, International Relations Committee of SAFA, and one of the past president of SAFA, and Dr. Aditi Halda, Director GRI in South Asia, who is a close friend of us, for their valuable contribution in renewing the MOU between two organizations to strengthen the relationship and promote the standards on sustainability reporting. Let me also recognize and appreciate the valuable support extended by all others, including the Secretariat of SAFA. I am sure that the subject knowledge shared and practical examples highlighted by the speakers will immensely benefit to deal with future challenges in our region. I believe that establishment of regional linkage based on a firm foundation of shared experiences is a vital first step for progress and achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your participation and the enthusiasm shown to make this conference a grand success. I think today we were able to conduct a very good conference, a very successful conference, purely because of you all, because your participation is very, very important to all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join with me to give them a big round of applause for their hard work and unconditional dedication. With those remarks, let me conclude my closing appreciation, and we look forward to seeing you all in Mumbai, India. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinayake Bandara. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now humbly request the chief guest of this valedictory session, Mr. CQK Mustaq Ahmed, former Senior Secretary of Home Ministry and former Chairman.
I would like to request now Mr. Delawar Hussain, the FCMA. He is the advisor of SAFA. I would request him to kindly deliver his speech.
Thank you very much, ICAB authority, for giving the chance to say something in this August gathering. Respected chief guest, CQK Mustaq Ahmed, former chairman, Financial Reporting Council, and ICAB president, a very good friend of mine, Mr. Shahadat Hussain, FCA, and Mr. Mamun Rashid. We are proud of him as a dynamic president of the ICMB, and our respected iconic figure in Bangladesh, I should say, I think everybody should accept, Honorable Organizing Committee Chairman, former President of ICAB, Dr. Parveen Mahmood. She was also former Chairman of SAFA Women's Affairs Committee. Distinguished, my respected Sir, Mahu Sir, Finance Secretary, and Subhashish Sir, and also Tapan Krishna Poddar Sir, respected former President of SAFA, Watawala Sir, and former President of ICMAB and former President of ICAB. My humble gathering, my professional colleagues, FCA and FCMA, FCA, SCMA, and FCA, SCA. I'm very much happy to be here because of last year I was SAFA president. Then before I was Vice President SAFA, now SAFA advisor. It's a great opportunity to say something in this August gathering. Why? Because of a mega program organized by India, Bangladesh. This is the last event, possibly Bangladesh, in SAFA. And I'll be, my SAFA advisor tenure is finished December 31st. So it's a great opportunity. I have received lots of help from professional colleagues like FCA, FCMA, and SCA and SCMA. So my gratitude to all the delegates from foreign countries and also delegates, all the head of the institution of SAFA country region. So if I say something more, I will be minus from you because of people are not interested here in this time. So I convey my highest regards. All of you, you pray for me. Inshallah, I will be, inshallah, in future, see you, all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Delawar Hussain, FCMA.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the chief guest of this valedictory session, Mr. CQK Mustaq Ahmed, former Senior Secretary of Home Ministry and former Chairman of Financial Reporting Council, FRC.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Distinguished delegates from SAFA region, also organizers of this International SAFA conference. First of all, I express my thanks to the organizers for inviting me in this August gathering. It has been a very successful session. It has been a very long day, and you must be at the limit of your patience, and I'm not here to torture it any further. Anyway, 3 very erudite papers has been presented here by 3 very eminent personalities. And I have gone through these papers, although I didn't attend the session in full. But very useful suggestions and propositions has been made. And what actually struck me as a former government servant is the proposition by this one keynote speaker about the government engaging professional accountants in opening up their accounts and whether the expenditure we make in various projects, whether these are satisfies value for money approach and all the other tools, all the other, compliance and all this thing. And I think only external auditors who are mandated for it, the government can be generous enough. And I would also suggest to all the other SAFA countries also. And I suppose this system is not there, that professional accountants are actually scrutinizing and reporting on the government accounts. So they're also our citizens, and they can add value to government accounts. So this aspect I liked very much, and I would love to propose to all concerned to consider it. Finally, thanks to our foreign delegates, also the distinguished members of the accounting professionals they have gathered here. Thank you very much. I hope that the takeaway from this conference will be applied in the practical fields. And in the next session, next international conference, we can have a follow-up of it, feedbacks, and what are the progress. And that will ensure the success of these kind of conferences. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Guest, for your valuable words.
Ladies and gentlemen, now memorabilia to be presented to the distinguished guests at the dais. I request President ICAB to do the honor. The first one goes to the chief guest, Mr. CQK Mushtaq Ahmed. Thank you. Next one goes to Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir FCA, past president and council member, ICAB. A very good summary at the end, covering all the aspects that has been discussed here. And the next one goes to Advisor SAFA, AKM Dilawar Hussain, FCMA. AKM Dilawar Hussain, FCMA, Advisor SAFA is receiving it. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, now concluding remarks, Mohammad Shahadat Hussain, FCA, President Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh, ICAB, and Chair of this valedictory session, is now requested to kindly present his concluding remarks.
Honorable Chief Guest and other dignitaries on the dais, and honorable participants on the audience, Assalamu alaikum and a good afternoon. Actually, nothing to be concluded. A lot of conclusion has been remarked. Just after a day-long conference, according to norms, we should say something which is called Dhaka Declaration. Actually, from this 2 days conference, SAFA International Conference 2022 on regional connectivity for sustainable growth, we have drafted a recommendation statement named Dhaka Declaration, which will be placed at SAFA next board meetings, that means tomorrow's board meeting, for its approval. However, I am just reading out this recommendation statement named Dhaka Declaration. We, the particular participants of the SAFA International Conference 2022 on regional connectivity for sustainable growth, held on October 15, 2022 in Dhaka, Bangladesh, bearing in mind the objectives of the South Asian Federation of Accountants in achieving regional sustainability and maintaining the quality of standards of accounting and auditing and strengthening the role of accountants in the region by virtue of their contribution to policy formulation by the government, have agreed to the following statements. Recognizing that regional development is essential for the inclusive welfare of the people of the South Asian region, and that the economic integration of the national economies into the regional economy would enhance the welfare of the peoples. We recommended to strengthen regional connectivity, enhancement of regional facilities, cooperation for infrastructural development, and collective action for paperless border trade, as well as construction of the transportation infrastructure for easy movement through borders. Recalling the provisions of the South Asian Federation of Accountants Charter, we reiterate that accountants are to play a pivotal role in ensuring integrity, accountability, and good governance in the financial sector in all the countries of the world. More integration and partnerships amongst professional accounting organizations in the South Asian region is needed for sustainable growth through sharing new ideas and best practices amongst each other. Sustainability reporting of accountants and auditors would make reporting acceptable to all investors and the stakeholders, and hence committees have to be formed in each country as well as in the SAFA. Considering the importance of human resource development and institutional capacity building in all South Asian countries, we state that accountants and auditors can be at the forefront of the sustainability and ESG reporting initiative. In the context of South Asia, this may require significant policy intervention, and maintaining sustainability reporting may be a way forward. Recalling the necessity of regional countries to invest in each other's economies, we observe that if the countries of the region lag behind, regional sustainability cannot be ensured. So, if we can include every country together for development program, the region would benefit as a whole. We can also raise together as an economic powerhouse and capture a large market share on the globe. The Dhaka conference now proclaims that regional cooperation should be enhanced. Every country should take an adaptive approach to regional crisis management in the years to come. There should be food security for the people, and the standards of the auditing and accounting profession should be recognized by the developed nations. Thank you all. Thank you everybody for the Hafiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, the diligent work of members of ICAB and professional accountants as a whole of the SAARC region is to play a due role in assisting in the policy formulation by the governments of the region with an aim to total integration of 8 economies of SAARC, culminating into opulence and prosperity of the SAARC region. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this valedictory session. We have a colorful cultural show to be presented by Bangladesh Government Music College. You're going to enjoy the cultural show along with the sumptuous dinner to be served to your table, as we are already far out of time. Thank you all, and bye-bye.